Hello, people of the world, the internet world, or the podcasting world. We are back with another episode of Love and Stuff. This is episode something or another. I can't remember the number off the top of my head.
I have no idea.
Right. So, yeah, we're back, and we have another thrilling episode for you today. We are live on the Instagram, so if anybody wants to join in our little live thing, you can. And say hello, something or another. I don't know.
So let's get on into it.
Let's get into it, though.
We need to talk
about our sponsors first.
Our sponsors, the Tourism and Commerce Board of Croatia wants you to know that Croatia is one of the oldest nation states in Europe.
They actually got back to you this time.
Yeah, well, I didn't check my email last time. That was last time. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you probably have another one for next week? Because you didn't check it this week?
It's probable. I feel like a government agency has it more together with emails than I do.
Right.
So,
I would figure that out, too.
I'm still kind of working my way up to the present with my emails.
Right. Okay, so they want to remind us of what?
Croatia is one of the oldest nation states in Europe.
Also, you can move there.
Yeah, the president would love to have you.
So, and we're also sponsored by Dave's Lube, who wants to remind you that the holidays are coming up, and for all your lube needs, go to Dave's Lube.
Dave's Lube.
So we're back. We have a question from. Actually, this question was asked by somebody that I know, like in person. Wasn't sent in an email. A friend of mine asked. He wanted to remain anonymous.
Oh, okay.
So we could make up a name if you'd like.
Yeah. How's about?
We used Cornelius already, so you can't use Cornelius again.
How about Bartholomew?
Bartholomew. How about Bartholomew Jones?
Bartholomew Jones.
The third.
The third.
All right.
All right. Esquire.
Esquire. So, but my friend Bartholomew Jones III, Esquire, wanted to know who should make the first move.
The boy or the girl?
The boy or the girl. Who should make first move? Because he's kind of dating this girl right now, and they've been on a few dates, and she's rather independent, he says.
Uh-huh.
And he's a little intimidated to make the first move because of her independence.
Wait, they're going out and there's no first move?
They've only gone out twice. So,
oh, you mean the first move, like, into the sack?
Nah, yeah, I mean the first move, like the first, kiss, the first, because he's, like, into her because of her independence.
Okay.
But at the same time, that independence kind of freaks him out a little bit, and he doesn't know if he should make the first move.
Okay.
So he's kind of scaling it back, because he's kind of a confident dude. Bartholomew Jones III, Esquire. He's pretty confident dude.
I doubt it.
Yeah, he is.
If he's wondering about whether or not to make the first move.
Well, I mean, this is different. This is a different kind of woman for him.
Okay.
So it's not like he's dated somebody that's like this independent before. That doesn't need a man to do nothing. In fact, he was telling me a story how she paid for the last date they were on. And he was kind of weirded out by it. And I was like, dude, why are you weirded out by it?
Bartholomew. Take it.
That is like
hell yeah.
The golden ticket right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The next step is up from that is house husband, which is like the dream.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah.
So would you like to go ahead and let Bartholomew Jones III, Esquire, answer his question?
Yeah. Bartholomew, Barty, Barterino.
That's still not as good as a name as Boo Boo Kitty Fuck, but Bartholomew is pretty good.
True. Bartholomew, go for it. Do it. Make that move.
Really? You're going to tell him that?
Yeah, just do it, man. She's a strong, independent woman. She probably appreciates a guy with some initiative. And honestly, what have you got to lose?
You got a story or anything, or are you just going to throw that? Is that all you're going to throw out
No,
there?
I don't have a story at all. The fact of the matter is I've never made a first move in my life.
Really?
No, that's not true. I did once.
You did once? How did that turn out?
It was hella suave.
Hella suave,
Yeah.
huh?
It turned out great. It also turned into the worst relationship of my life. but it was hella sexy. And
you want to give
pretty
Bartholomew
dope.
here a little pointer on what to do?
Yeah. Bartholomew. Here's what I did when I made the first move. I said to her. So here's what we were doing. We were on the couch watching TV, and she was
Some random ass show.
some random. I don't even remember what it was. There was a pretty lady on my lap. Why do I remember what it was?
Right.
Anyway, so she's laying down and I'm sitting, and her head is like in my crotch, but facing my head.
Right.
Yeah. And I looked down at her, and I gave her hair a little stroke, and I said, you know, I'm thinking about kissing you right now.
No, you actually said that.
I said that. And she was like, well, why don't you go for it? And I was like,
Why don't you go for it? How'd that work out?
I mean, it worked out great.
At the time?
Until it turned into like the worst relationship of my life. But it worked out great at the time.
Right. See, I'm always of the opinion, I actually really dig it when a woman makes the first move.
Oh, me too.
I actually really kind of, I mean, especially in nowadays in the dating world with the way the interweb works and online dating and all that stuff, because the way I figure it, a girl is probably getting unwanted, you know, pictures of dudes' dicks because that's what we do.
Hey, just a public information thing to all you guys out there. Dick pics is not the way to go.
It's not the way to go.
Not the way to go.
It's what happens. So I figure if it's a good-looking girl on online dating, right, and she sends me the first message, I'm all for it. I'm like, all right, I mean, you know, and as strange as it is to say, a girl could actually almost look like Chewbacca. And I would, if she sent the first email, or she, you know, sent the first email and set up the first date, I would probably actually still show up.
Okay.
Even though, you know, that initiative to me, like most of the dates that I've been on, most of the successful ones, because I am clueless when it comes to excuse me. I am clueless when it comes to a girl flirting with me.
Oh, me too.
I am totally oblivious. Unless, like, she holds up her shirt and says, hey, you. Kind of like that scene in Talladega Nights. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
God, you got to educate yourself on some movies.
You know, I'm terrible with pop culture.
Right.
And Talladega Nights is like 10-year-old pop culture.
Right, but it's still a funny-ass movie.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
You'll have to watch it. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
So, you know.
I have Netflix.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, sponsor shout out. Hopeful one-day sponsor, Netflix. Watch it for all of your awesome movie needs and their great original programming. Netflix.
Netflix.
So
Did
now
you know
maybe Netflix will pay us money.
Like coffee money?
Coffee money.
Yeah, like $10 or whatever.
That'd be great.
You know,
That'd get us two sweet-ass lattes.
We're kind of cheap.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
anyway,
we're a cheap date,
Yeah.
Netflix. Do it.
Anyway, that was a plug for Netflix, if you're paying attention. Where was I? I was going somewhere.
You're talking about Talladega Nights.
There was something that led me into that. Oh yeah, there's a scene in Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Where Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no,
that's the
I'm
guy's name.
familiar enough
If
with
you
it.
ain't
Yeah.
first, you're last.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby, the woman that he winds up marrying. All she does is go like this and flashes her boobies and
Yeah.
says, "Hey driver, look at these." And that's the only way I would literally know if a girl's into me.
Okay.
Like I am that. I've known a girl that I became friends with, just friends. We were platonic friends, and she wound up dating somebody else, and there was never really anything there, or so I thought.
So you thought.
Right. You know what I mean? I was like, oh yeah, we're always friends. We just hang out. You know what I mean? We were cool for like, we're still cool, but I mean, like we used to hang out a lot. And one day she tells me like, you know, this is like, she's like engaged to this dude, and she tells me, you know, there was like 2 months there where we were hanging out, where like I was like making all these moves on you. We were talking about this very subject.
Yeah.
How I'm clueless when it comes. She's like, dude, you are clueless.
Yeah.
Absolutely clueless. I was trying to make moves on it. I was trying to flirt with you for like 2 months when we first started hanging out.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. Like, I just didn't get it. I was like, you just like everything I would do, you would just be like, whatever. I thought you just didn't care. And I'm like, no, I just don't have a clue when a woman's flirting with me. So for me, I always like it when a girl makes the first move. That way I have a clue.
That's totally cool.
Yeah. That way I have some sort of, that way I'm like, oh, okay, she's into me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm all for like, I'll make the first move. I mean, I'm more confident making the first move if it's just some girl I'm hooking up with than some girl that I'm into,
Right.
which is weird. But
No, it's not weird at all because there's no, you're not risking anything.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I got nothing to lose on that point.
Right.
But
hey,
if it's like,
I'm gonna one up you.
ooh,
Yeah. This happened years ago. This was back in like the year 2006, maybe.
wow.
Yeah, spring.
Back when you were listening to some Weezer, maybe?
Spring 2006.
Maybe you were listening to some Weezer?
I was not listening to any Weezer. I'm not really a Weezer fan.
Maybe some Third Eye Blind?
No.
Who else was big back in 2006? Chumbawamba?
They were big like in 1997, not
Okay.
2006. You crazy ass.
Maybe The Offspring?
The Offspring, they were also big in like 1998.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of like what kind of music you'd be into in 2006.
I'm trying to remember also, but I'm kind of drawing a blank. I know there was like some Ziggy Marley in there.
Uh-oh. Maybe some Fish.
So there was definitely some Fish in there. Yeah, some string cheese.
You're in the jam band phase, you would say?
I was in my jam band phase, but you know, also
Any
other
Dave
stuff.
Matthews?
No Dave Matthews, but there was some Pink Floyd in there.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Yeah. Always some Metallica and Black Sabbath.
Okay. So years 2006, Max is listening to a variety of 2006-ish music,
Yeah.
and let's go.
Okay, so it was 2006, and this nice lady, I'm not going to use her name, so I'll call her Bartholomew.
We already used Bartholomew.
Okay, this nice lady, I'll call her Bartholoma.
Come up with some. What about Barbara? Just
Barbara,
There
this
you
nice
go.
lady, I'm going to call her Barbara, that's her pseudonym. She says to me, hey, Max, you know, some friends and I were having like somebody come over to give us like a blowjob class, you know, for fun, because apparently girls used to do that.
Back in 2006?
Back in 2006. Yeah, we're having somebody over to give us like a blowjob class just for fun. And maybe you should, why don't you swing by afterwards?
Afterwards. Because you know she's going to be all ready to go after a blowjob class.
Yeah, and she's going to have some, you know, technique.
Some technique. But dude, did you go?
It couldn't get much more obvious than
Right.
that. The time comes around, and I'm like, you know, she's, first of all, I was somehow clueless as to what she was getting at.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
And so,
I would have even got that one.
And so I'm like, you know, it's 10 o'clock at night. I don't really feel like doing anything. I think, yeah, I don't even know her that well, whatever. I think I'm just not gonna, you know, show up. So I didn't show up, and
That was your like window.
Yeah, and 10 years later, I remember this, and I'm like, oh my God, Max, you blithering idiot. You fucking missed out on a blowjob.
Right. That was the golden opportunity right
Yeah,
there.
it took me 10 years to figure that out.
Right.
Yeah,
You could probably missed out on a little more.
quite possibly.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, you know, hey, check it out.
Hey, if the first date is a blowjob,
Right.
you know it's going somewhere from
It's
there.
going to go somewhere for a couple months, at
Yeah,
least.
yeah.
At least it's going to be hot and heavy for a couple
Yeah.
months. So you'd have had some fun with that.
I would definitely have had some fun with that.
Right. But, I mean, you know, maybe you should call her 10 years later. Hey, remember that class?
You know I'm engaged, right?
Right, but I mean,
Yeah,
would still
can I
be-
take you up on that now?
yeah. Hence, if you weren't engaged, let's go back. If you weren't engaged, you could go back and say,
Yeah. Hey, Barbara.
by the way,
Yeah.
I know it's been a while.
But
How you doing?
How you doing? You know I didn't show up to that thing. You probably felt really insecure after that.
Yeah, and I think you owe me one.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't put it that way. But I'd say,
That's
hey,
how I would put it.
is the offer still on the table?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. See, I'm kind of the same way, but I would have gotten that. I think I wouldn't have been that dense if they would have said, "Hey, come on over after the blowjob class." Did she like go into detail about the blowjob class?
No,
or-
she's just like, hey, we're having a blowjob class. You should come over afterwards.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I wasn't getting it. And
I've been in the same
listen,
position.
man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to smoke a little bit of pot.
Right.
I used to smoke a lot of pot.
Right.
Like
Was 2006 back
like
then?
a lot of pot. It was an unhealthy amount of pot that I used to smoke. And to our listeners, I don't recommend that. If
Hey,
you're
do what you want.
if you're gonna do that, do it in moderation. But anyway, that definitely had something to do with it.
Right.
If anything is gonna get you to miss out on a blowjob, it's smoking too much pot.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna be like, I'd rather eat.
Well, not just that, but you might just be oblivious to somebody being all like, "Hey, I'm having a blowjob class. Can you come over afterwards?"
Right. See, I've had a similar situation, but I actually showed up, and it didn't really work out to the way I thought it was going to work out.
How does that not work out? In what world does that not work out?
It doesn't work out, and when you think, here's the situation. We're going to go into the Wayback Machine here.
Okay, here's the Wayback Machine.
We're going to go back 15 years.
15. Ooh, I went back 10. You're
Yeah.
you're 5 up in me.
I used to hang out. I used to hang out at this coffee shop.
All right.
And there was a lot. It was like a cool little coffee shop. Could have been longer. I don't know. But anyway, this girl's like, "Hey, there's going to be a bunch of strippers at the male strippers at this party that I'm going to. You should at my house.
Yeah.
You should come over afterwards."
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna come over afterwards. For
right.
sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 15 years ago. I'm ever how old? But this girl was.
It's really simple math. Shayne.
Yeah, I know it is. But I'm having my first cup of coffee. So
Okay.
you tell me.
I'm just saying.
How old am I?
It's subtraction.
I know it is. How old am I?
You were about 30.
All right.
You were less than 30. You were
I was
your
less
late 20s.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
So this would be about the right time, right? And I talked to this girl at the time for a while, and she was a really cool girl, and I always thought that maybe she was like, maybe 21, 22, maybe 21, 22. I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
I'll go over there. I'll show up.
Yeah.
And I show up and we go into her room and we're making out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the door flies open.
Yeah.
And it's her goddamn dad.
Her dad.
Her dad. And she's like, "Hey, don't you know that," doesn't say anything else, just says, "Hey, don't you know that girl is 17? Oh. And I'm like, and she had told me she was 21. Oh. She had told when we first met and started hanging out like a year, like 6 months before that. Well, so I figured she was 21, 22.
Yeah.
And so I'm standing there, and trust me, I got my clothes on, and we were standing up, and all I did was, at that point, kiss her.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And her dad happened to walk in
Yeah.
as I'm getting done kissing her, and we're like embracing. Right?
Yeah, but it was going further.
Yeah, it was going to go further.
Yeah.
And I was like, she told me and I looked at her straight in the eye. Like, for some reason, I didn't get scared and I didn't get all freaked out. And I looked at him straight in the eye. And I was like,
you were probably pissed off.
yeah, a little bit. And I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, dude, your daughter told me she was 21.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, you should probably leave. I got to have some words with my daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And that was that. It wasn't like any big deal. It was just like, but that's how, it was a golden opportunity. And I kind of, I didn't mess it up, but,
No, I know what you mean.
but it was a missed opportunity. So if she happened to be like 3 years older, and then I didn't talk to her ever again after that.
No, I wouldn't either.
Which was kind of, and then I realized how crazy she actually was, and all of her stories started making sense, that she was just a little crazy.
Yeah.
So she was trying to tell me how she was going to college and all. That's another story for another time.
I would have been like really like, fuck you, dude. You
Right.
can't be doing that to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean to the girl,
Right.
not the dad. The
Right.
dad was right on.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then she tried convincing me that her dad's just overprotective and he was lying about her age.
Well, whatever.
She was really 21.
Yeah, never go there again.
Yeah. So I never did. But that was my story.
Yeah.
But we got to get back to good old Bartholomew
Oh,
Jones
Bartholomew,
III.
you asked us a question. Who should make the first
Yeah.
move?
I'm going to tell you, Bartholomew, she is an independent girl. I'm going to agree with Max on this one. I think you should make the first move.
Yeah, but hey, if she beats you to it, hell yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah, go for it. If she makes the first move, be okay with it.
Yeah.
I actually took an internet poll on this one.
Uh-huh.
A social media poll,
All right.
if you will.
Yeah.
On the Instagram.
Uh-huh.
And interestingly enough,
Yeah.
it was 95% yes, the girl should make the first move. 2 of the voters
Yes.
were women.
2 of the 95%.
2 of the 95 that said yes were women.
You understand the math isn't adding up here, right?
Why isn't the math adding up?
Well, 2 of the 95. If 2. Wait, so 95% said yes.
Yeah, and 2 of the voters that said yes were women.
Okay. So hypothetically, there were 1,000 yeses,
Yeah,
and 2 of them were women.
yeah.
Okay.
And there was only 95%, so 2 of them were. There was 2 votes for no, the man should make the first move. I don't even know, but the votes for the ones that stood out to me were that said no were dudes. A couple of the dudes were like, no, the man should make the first move.
Okay.
So it was interesting. It's interesting to point out
All right.
that there are women out there who would like to make the first move.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily surprising.
Right.
It's the new millennium, dude.
We go back to that a lot.
Well, that's the way it is, man. Like women are
I thought the new millennium was just 2000. Like when we got ushered in 2000, that was the new millennium.
Yeah, it's still the new millennium.
I don't think that counts anymore. It's like 17 years later.
Listen, man, a millennium is 1,000 years. I think for the first 100, you can call it the new millennium. At least for the first 50.
I think it gets overused.
Well,
Personally.
I use it a lot,
I know you do.
but I think it's only 17 years into a millennium.
Right.
It's the new millennium.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So hey, it's the new millennium, man, and women are their own independent,
Right.
strong, wonderful creatures who
Right.
do not need a man around to make a first move or to take care of them or whatever. Because women can, they can.
Do that shit.
They can do that shit
They-
themselves.
they can
It's
do
the new
that shit.
fucking millennium,
Yeah.
man. Like we
Yeah.
don't
Like
need.
I said before, I really dig it when a girl does it.
Yeah, me too. Especially because I'm sort of a coward.
Well,
Beneath,
I'm sort of oblivious. So.
yeah,
I'm not a
beneath,
coward. I'm just oblivious.
yeah, beneath all of my bravado, I can be very insecure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not much of a first move maker.
Right.
But luckily, I'm a chick magnet. So they
don't know
flock
about-
to me to
I
make
don't know
the
about
first
that.
move.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I do.
I don't know about that.
I do. Hey, you haven't been in my pants. I have.
You're right, and I don't intend on being in your pants.
No, that would be weird.
It would be really weird.
Yeah, stay out, please.
So, I think we're gonna wrap our show up with that. On that note.
We could go further.
We could go further. There's something, since it is love and stuff. I have some stuff because we never seem to talk about stuff.
Well, we do talk about stuff.
Yeah, but
we
I
were
got some-
talking about stuff earlier. We were talking about Ricky Bobby.
Right.
We were talking about missed out blowjobs.
Yeah. Netflix.
Netflix.
Right. Right. I have another stuff though.
All right.
So, you know who Tom DeLonge is?
No.
He was the guitar player.
It sounds like the name of a porno actor.
It is not the name of a porno actor. He was the guitar player in Blink 182. Guitar player, singer guy.
Okay.
The guy that sang that song. He sang that song, "Damn It." Da na 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 na. You know what song I'm
I
talking
have
about?
no idea what you're talking. I'm gonna tell you this though.
Right.
Back when Blink 182's first album came out,
Right.
I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school,
Did you rock that shit?
and I rocked that.
Was it your
shit.
life?
That was such a good. It was that and Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory.
Oh Jesus!
Man.
you just no wonder why your pop culture just it's horrible.
Are you kidding me? That shit was rocking.
No, Linkin Park is like the new millennium Bon Jovi.
No. Yes, but their first album
Was like Bon Jovi,
dope.
Slippery When Wet.
I don't even know what that is.
So you're missing
But I
out.
know Hybrid Theory, and that shit was dope.
All right. So can I get to make my point?
Yeah, do it.
All right. I want to make this a real quick point. So this dude Tom DeLonge was on Joe Rogan's podcast. You heard of Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, comedian, podcast guy.
No, I'm familiar with Joe Rogan.
Okay, but you're not familiar with Tom DeLonge.
No.
I don't get it.
Hey man, Joe Rogan was on News Radio.
Right.
That was a good show.
Yes. News radio. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's on the podcast the other day, right? Joe Rogan's podcast, Tom DeLonge. And he's talking about this alien thing that he's trying to do. Like he's trying to raise money with the GoFundMe account to research to build a spaceship.
To build a spaceship.
To build a spaceship to go into outer space.
Well, that's what spaceships do.
Right. To find aliens that he believes exist. And he's got a team of ex-NASA guys. Like, he was saying this on the air.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a team of ex-NASA guys. And he was explaining this whole alien scenario thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think aliens stole taco trucks in Santa Rosa, but I don't think this guy either, and I came away with two opinions on this. This is why I'm just talking about this right now. I came away with two opinions on this. Either of the, whoa, bless you.
Excuse me.
Because then, hi, that's gonna be on the podcast. Max's sneeze.
I covered my mic, but it probably just sounded weird.
Yeah, that was Max's sneeze on the podcast. Good job.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You were talking about Tom DeLonge and aliens.
Oh yeah, I came away with two things, and this is how I think we should start. If we ever get asked to do interviews, we should just talk about some crazy ass nonsense, because it came away sounding like this guy was either the smartest man ever about aliens and about they really exist, and about how he's got the research and the power to go out and do it, even though he was just a guitar player in a pop punk band.
Yeah.
Or he's batshit crazy.
Okay.
I think he's batshit crazy. That's what I'm going with.
Well, I don't know what he was saying, so I'll defer to your judgment.
Yeah, it was just a crazy interview.
I'm gonna say this.
What?
Aliens,
Right.
like space aliens,
Right.
like intelligent creatures from other worlds
Right.
in the universe,
Right.
definitely exist.
They exist or they don't exist?
They do.
Okay, I thought you were going to tell me they don't exist.
There's how in the billions of all the planets around the billions of stars in the billions of galaxies, not a single one other intelligent creature exists.
Right. Like
Gotta
we're the be all and end all?
Yeah, there's got to be at least one.
Right. So anyway, that is the end of it right there. We got to wrap this bad boy up.
Wrap this bitch up.
So wrap this bitch up. Oh yeah, Bartholomew, if you're going to go there, just remember to wrap that bitch up.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely. Guys, we always advocate safe sex.
Right.
Wrap it.
And man, go for it. Try to make the first move, or let her make the first move.
Yeah.
If you've listened all the way through, you probably already figured out that in a roundabout way of what we're telling you. I'm running out of shit to say.
You mean if they've listened to this podcast, they will have heard what we're recapping?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but let's still do the recap.
All right, do the recap.
So, Bartholomew, go for it. But if, it's cool for a guy to make a first move. It's cool for a girl to make the first move. Either way, it's cool. That's it. Recapped. Boom. Done.
Right. All right. So there you go. We are done. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Give us a like. Give us a comment.
Yeah.
Maybe even go to that SoundCloud and give us a play.
Drop us a review on iTunes.
Yeah, we should be up on iTunes by now.
Yeah.
We're also on Stitcher, so
Yeah. Hey, I bet you if they're listening to us on iTunes, we're on iTunes for sure.
Right. I would maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just an episode. Maybe they have an older episode. But as always, if you're on the YouTube and you're watching us, you could like and subscribe and leave us a comment down below. Tell us what you think about Bartholomew Jones III. Esquire.
All right.
And until next time, don't shit yourself.
Yeah.
See ya.